This video tutorial will demonstrate FPinfomart's automated newsletter functionality. The newsletter publisher allows you to disseminate content to your end users using a simple interface. The new automated newsletter allows you to have a complete hands-off approach to this function. If you have personal profiles that regularly receive great results and you wish to have them automatically disseminated to a group of recipients each day, the newsletter is a great solution. We have two personal profiles in this account that automatically look for stories that mention our company, Gadgets, and our competitor, Gizmos. We want to make sure that every story that we receive in these profiles gets sent to our list of recipients. To begin, we'll click on Newsletter Publisher from the Intranet Toolkit portion of the menu. On this page, you'll see any newsletters that you've already set up, whether they're manual or automated. We can edit any existing newsletter to make it automated, or we can create a new template and automate that. The first thing we do when we create a new newsletter is to give it a name. This will not only allow us to distinguish one newsletter from another in the list, but will also become the subject line of the email that's sent to our recipients. The Edited By and Editor's email address box are automatically filled in with the subscriber information associated with this account. However, you can change it to whatever you wish. The About This newsletter box will create a masthead which will be printed at the top of each issue of our newsletter. You can give information about the purpose of the newsletter, who created it, and what type of content to expect in it. If you do not fill this box in, this information will not be put on the newsletter. Finally, enter any recipients here, one per line. When we click the Create button, we'll be presented with a list of options for how our newsletter should appear. Our first choice is whether we want a summary of results with citations causing links to the full text of the articles, or whether we want to include the full text of the articles directly within the email. Since an automated newsletter will create its results based on personal profiles, we may wish to hide duplicates, for example, newswire stories that were published in multiple newspapers, or we can have each copy of every duplicate item included in the newsletter. Media analysis allows us to either show or hide the ad value, circulation, and tone values from each citation. Peak highlighting allows you to choose whether or not you wish your searched keywords to be highlighted within the article or to have just the headline and no snippet of text. And finally, document highlighting allows you to show or highlight the keyword highlighting for each of your documents. On the next screen, we get to choose which content to include in our newsletter. We have the choice to include saved folders, as well as any personal profiles or managed profiles if you subscribe to this service. For this example, we are going to include the personal profiles for Gadgets and Gizmos. We can also choose to include a folder, so if you do find any interesting articles, you can manually put them in that folder during the day and they will get pushed out in the next issue of the newsletter. Click Next to automate the newsletter. By default, a newsletter that you create is manual, which means it will only be sent when you click the Send button from the Newsletter Publisher screen. However, if you check this box, you can choose a primary and a secondary schedule, at which time the newsletter will be automatically sent without any intervention from you. You can choose 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, or if it's a weekly newsletter, you can choose a particular day of the week, or for a weekend edition, choose Saturday and Sunday. We'll do Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. You can choose an optional secondary schedule. For example, if you wish to have an end-of-day edition or an end-of-week edition, you can choose to do so here. Click Save and you'll be returned to the Newsletter Publisher screen, where you'll see your new newsletter, the schedule that you've selected, when the next issue will be sent, and the last sent time will automatically be set to the time that you created the newsletter. You can manually override this schedule by clicking Send, which will send a manual edition of this newsletter, and it will be followed up by the next scheduled edition. This has been Automated Newsletter Publisher on fpinfomart.ca.